Morning. It is coffee o'clock around here. Want to talk a little SK? Blood, sweat, and gears is their motto. The motto should be blood, sweat, and your entire paycheck. I hope you're sitting down. So if you broke your back or broke your neck and you were in like a metal cage, the doctor's going to pull out SK tools. Emergency rooms will have SKs. And these prices reflect that. These are God level tools. Not all of them are that good. I mean, some of them are rebranded. Some, I don't know, that may not be true. But like their pliers, they are nothing special. Their sockets are good. I'll give them that. I mean, they are, good. I mean, here's a good example. Right off the bat. 12-piece spark plug socket set. So this is like a master spark plug socket set. This is going to cover every spark plug ever made. But for $330, you don't need a good snap-on Mac SK socket for spark plugs. They're generally not in there that tight. You could literally get away with a Kmart spark plug socket. $330. Yeah, there's no reason to pay that for spark plug sockets. I mean, these things made out of titanium that dipped them in Superman's tears. For $330, it still wouldn't be worth it. Yeah, avoid those. For spark plugs, you can use almost anything. Let's check out their O2 sensor. Now, an O2 sensor socket, that one you want to get the absolute most expensive, toughest, best brand you can possibly. What's with all the cancer warnings? Oxygen sensors are always tighter than a nun. So don't cheap out. Anything oxygen sensor tools, get the very best ones you can afford. I wish they'd show what they look like. This is... Oh, okay, they kind of do. I've never used them. How much was that? Shit. 130? $100. I mean, that's expensive. I've never used them. If they're as good as the rest of the SK equipment. Oh, okay, here's one. Because these things usually spread. Because they got this big slit down the middle. As soon as you put a little torque on there, that thing opens up like a Filipino ladyboy. Here's a whole set of 10 millimeters. I don't know if any of you aren't in the mechanic game. There's this ongoing joke about how, and it's semi-true, but you always lose your 10 millimeter socket. And it's mostly because every single thing that comes on a cargo ship is 10 millimeter. If it's coming from overseas, it's going to have a 10 millimeter on it. But still $160. So you get a couple deeps, extra shallow impacts, mid-length, 1/4 inch drive, probably 3/8 drive, 1/2 inch drives, blah, blah, blah. $160, that'll be the day. And I'd hate to say for SK, that's actually kind of reasonably priced. So these are their new impact sockets. Now, generally, impact sockets are black oxide, black chrome vanadium. They're softer. Impact sockets are softer. Keeps them from snapping. The harder metals tend to crack and snap under impact. The softer metals hold up better. I should have done a little research. Sorry, guys. I scared you. Dropped something and scared the dogs. I should do a little research about these. These are brand new. SK's brand new impact sockets called Flex Zones. Ultra expensive. I don't know anything about them, but they're not black oxide, which is unusual. That's unusual. 9 times out of 10, your 99% of your impact sockets are going to be the black oxides. I think that's what they're called. I may be wrong. Okay, here's 6 packs and 8 packs, 10 packs. Yeah, you know, they're not... These aren't, for being a new product and all, these aren't like crazy expensive, which is unusual. Because, okay, here's regular impacts. This is what a normal, most of your impacts will resemble these. Excuse me. Okay, hope you're sitting down right off the bat. Good Lord. $1,100. Holy smokes. Okay, this is a 3/4 drive. 3/4 inch drive's heavy duty. In case you're not hip to all this, you're just watching. For entertainment value, 3/4 drive is what you'll be using on farm equipment, big trucks, bulldozers. Your everyday mechanics don't use 3/4 drive. The biggest drive, there's, you know, 1/4 inch is your little one. 3/8 is the middle one, and 1/2 inch is the big boy for auto mechanics. Now, once you get into heavy diesel mechanics and semis, you go to the 3/4 drive, even a 1 inch drive. They're big bucks. They're huge. You know, the ratchets are 2.5, 3 feet long. The sockets are as big as your hand. I love these swivel sockets. These are the way to go as far as I'm concerned. These, if you're looking to be a mechanic or do some put in some work, this should be one of the first things you get are these swivel impacts. And I guarantee you're not going to be getting these at $300, $400, $500. A 15-piece 1/2 inch drive. So this is the biggest drive for pretty much auto mechanics. This is the big one, which are always more expensive because they're bigger, thicker, and more metal. Look at that. Compared to the 1/4 inch drive, which will be far cheaper and much smaller. I'm not a fan of this website. 1/2 inch drive, 1/2 inch drive, 3/8. This is the middle size. 3/8, $479, 15 piece. I know so little about SK because they are so expensive that I own almost maybe three or four little things that are SKs. Maybe 10 sockets and ratchets and just random stuff. They're too expensive. And you don't see them like you do at SK or, you know, if you go to a garage sale or an estate sale or a flea market, you'll see Snap-on, you'll see Mac and Matco and Craftsman and Huskies. You will not see SKs. And if you do, you grab them. If you see SKs anywhere, you grab them. Well, most of your industrial settings, factories, you know, if you went to like Chevy or Ford, you'll see a lot of these. They're industrials. You know, the line workers aren't going to be using these. The line workers won't. But your skilled trade guys, like your union machinists, your union electricians and all that, they're going to all have the SKs. Not just the production workers, but like the skilled trade guys, the machinists or the machinery repair guys, depending where you're at. $1,000, $1,300, $700. Here's one for 108. 3/8 drive, 6.12 pieces. What was I getting? I don't know if they must be guaranteed. I'll have to do some research. For this price, they should be. I don't know 100%. Okay, here's a 1-inch drive. So these are real big sockets. These sockets, if you put them in the palm of your hand, they're almost as big as your hand. And that's why they're so expensive. And you can't tell in the picture, but even these little ones are huge. No ratchet, no nothing, $4,000. Not a single extension. Good grief. And honestly, you won't really see too many mechanics using SK tools. I'm not really sure why. If it's the price, because these are tool truck prices. They're good. I know they're good. I'm a fan of their chrome. I love SK chrome sockets, man. Oh, I just love them. Quarter-inch drive, that's your smallest. So these are real little suckers. It'll always be your cheapest. The quarter-inch drive are the cheapies. Forgive my slow computer. I'm trying to scroll slower too, so you guys don't have a seizure trying to watch this. Yep, so 3/4, like right here, 3/4, 1-inch. Those are your big boys, your diesel mechanics, your semis. 3/8 is your middle mechanic level or size. So again, you'll have quarter-inch drive, 3/8 drive, and 1/2-inch drive. Those are your 3 mechanic levels, sizes. And then your big diesel mechanics are going to be 3/4 of an inch and 1-inch drive. And if you don't know, that drive just means what size ratchet. The drive is going to be the other end of the socket, not the end that goes on the bolt, but the bottom end that you snap your ratchet or whatever onto. That's the drive size. And that's going to dictate how big the hole is on the bottom. You know, the 1/4 inch is a 1/4 inch and the 1-inch is a 1-inch. So, you know, picture in your mind a 1/4 inch hole compared to a 1-inch hole. That's what the bottoms, different sizes, are going to have. Now look at these. These are really nice, but $288. 1/4 inch drive, the cheap size. Okay, now 3/8, next size up, next price up. Now if we can find these in 1/2-inch drive, they'll be wicked expensive. I'm not seeing them in 1/2-inch drive. I could use, these are nice extra deep sockets. Every now and then a regular deep socket's not long enough and you need an extra deep. I mean, there's only 2 of them here. 2-piece, 1/4-inch drive, 6-point. They didn't even tell you what size they are. Why would they not tell you what size they are? 2-piece, quarter-inch drive, 6-point metric, extra deep. Am I missing it? Bumper cover, bolts, fasteners, engine ignition systems. How does it not tell you the size? Except for down here, a 10 millimeter and an 11 millimeter quarter-inch drive. $81. I'm not digging this website though. I don't know if it's my computer or what. God, I love these chrome sockets. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to go in the friggin' poorhouse. $300. $149 is garbage. I mean, it's high quality, but alright, enough sockets. This is making me angry. $715. Half-inch drive, so it's your bigger drive for your mechanics. This is what all your big bolts on cars and trucks. $715. Oh my God. Ugh. I don't know crap about SK wrenches. I think I might have one. T-handles, 15, 13. Don't bother. There's a few situations where T-handles come in handy. I used to use them every single day on a printing press. But for the most part, other than that, hardly ever. Let's get past these. They must have a set. What do we have here? Fractional flare nut wrench sizes, which fractional just means it's not metric, it's standard. You know, if somebody's not hip to what I'm talking about, there's either metric or what they call SAE. They also call it standard, and they also call it fractional, which is American measuring, as opposed to the metric where everything's in millimeters, which is easier. For some reason, America never adopted the metric system. We started to and then gave up on it when I was a child, I sort of remember. But anyway, fractional just means it's the American straight up standard SAE. It's not metric, which you use more metric as a mechanic. But flare nut wrenches, you don't want to play around. You want to get the very best ones you can afford. Don't get cheap ones. Do not get cheap ones. This is one of those things you cannot get away with a cheapie. Even middle of the road, Craftsman, Cobalt, Husky, they're not going to cut it. At least not in the Rust Belt. You might be able to get away with those down south, but up here in rust and crust, nope. Get the most expensive ones you can afford. You want the thickest heads. See how thick these are? It's important because that's going to keep these from spreading open. When you put a lot of leverage on there, these ends open right up. So the thicker they are, the better. These are obviously very thick. $76. So yeah, if you're in the market for flare nut wrenches, they also call them line wrenches. Line, as in hydraulic line, brake line. Don't cheap out. It's one of those things that it's a must. Get the most expensive ones you can afford. SK wrenches. $271, which isn't crazy. It's not outrageous from 6. Make sure they don't skip. It's one thing about SKs, they're not going to have any skips. A lot of your other tool brands, you'll be looking through here, go 15, 16, 18. You're like, where the heck is the 17? And they don't put it in there because the 17 mil is the same size as, say, a 7/8 standard. I can't explain it. So a lot of your cheaper sets, some of these metric increments, numbers, sizes are gonna mesh up with standard sizes. So if there was a list of all your fractionals, your quarter, I can't think, 7/8, 3/8, 5/16, 7/16, 3/4, like a 19 and a 3/4 are the same size. So a lot of sets won't come with a 19. And I hate that. That's the most aggravating thing. They call them skips. I always look and make sure you don't get, you're not getting a set with skips. And that was a poor ass explanation, but just, yeah, you don't want skips. X frames, now you're gonna start getting expensive. These are like a new style of wrench. They call them X frames. There you are, purdy. Are those ratcheting? I can't tell. Maybe they're ratcheting. I bet they're not. They'd be more expensive if they were ratcheting. Oh, I don't like this website. Ratcheting flare nut wrenches, those come in handy. Usually you'll break it loose with a regular flare nut because a lot of times you're in a bad spot. A lot of times when you're doing a flare nut or a line, it's in a tough spot. So ratcheting line wrenches come in handy. Flare nut wrenches, you can't break the nut free with them usually, but you just, get it started. And then these come in handy because there's never usually room to get a wrench in there and get swings. You can maybe get a wrench in there and get a little bit. Fractional. So these are SAE 5-piece, $132. That's not outrageous. Okay, now we're gonna start seeing some expensive ones. 23-piece, 12-point metric. Holy smokes, $807. So the 12-point is just telling you how many points of contact there are in the closed end, the box end. So sockets in your box end wrenches will either be a 6-point or a 12-point. Most 90% of us all know that, but in case you didn't. So a 12-point, you can get at things with less. There's more spots in the wrench to grab the fastener. The 6-point's only gonna grab it in quadrants, where a 12-point's gonna grab it in twice as many areas. SK wrenches are good. I don't have much experience with them. I have 1 or 2. Now their pliers, good lord, 6-piece precision plier set. There are like a million of these on Amazon, and you can get them from $10 up to maybe $30. I've never seen one so expensive. I imagine if you're a jeweler or something, or you're doing some really hardcore stuff where the little cheap ones aren't going to cut it, these are small. Like one of these will fit in the palm of your hand. To give you an idea about how big they are. Any one of those pairs of pliers are about the size of the palm of your hand. A lot of for jewelers and stuff, I guess, or just doing fine small stuff. This for spit-in safety wire. We'll get into that some other time in case you don't know. Now, SK pliers, although they're probably made out of really good metal, these are nothing special. These really don't look anything better than your Craftsman Cobalt Husky. I don't know what it is. I'm just not a fan of SK pliers. It's not outrageous, but I mean, you can get really good pliers for a lot less, like Knipex, your Knipex or Knipex, Knipex. They're the best pliers you can get. Snap ring pliers. Snap rings are another thing where you're going to want to get the best ones you can afford. Do not cheap out. Don't get cheap snap ring pliers. I mean, you don't have to spend $435, obviously, but don't get the cheapest ones, because those little tips, they're so small that they'll snap right off of cheap ones. So snap ring's another one that you do want to get good. The most expensive ones you can afford. These are nice, extra long needle nose, $116, good lord. But I mean, these are going to be really strong metal. When you reef down on these handles, they're not going to flex at all. Where if you have a cheaper brand, and I have a cheap brand of these, and when I squeeze them, these handles will almost touch, because the metal's got so much flex in it. These are not going to flex at all. Slip joint pliers, I mean, 20-inch, that's pretty big. These are nothing special for the price. I wouldn't spend that much, personally. $30. Yeah. You know what, these are just your everyday run-of-the-mills pliers that you see everywhere. So these are snap ring pliers. Snap rings are come in every shape, form, inside, outside. Brass drifts. I unfortunately need a few of these for my new job. I gotta pick some of these up. I don't think I'm gonna be getting SK ones though. Punches and chisels. Holy smokes, look at these prices. Whoa, $242. $202. These are chisels, for goodness sakes. Oh. Multi-faced hammer. Holy whoa. Those are expensive. Let's see hammers. I don't want to see chisels. I want to see hammers. What's an SK hammer all about? Your soft face hammers, 50, 60, 70, 100. Dead blows. Whoa. These are expensive. $300. Holy smokes. Okay, this is just $40. You can get one of these for $5. This is not anything special. You know, there's nothing special about this. Your everyday wooden handle and your everyday wooden rubber mallet. don't know why they would charge that much. The metals, I understand, they're using good metal. You know, they're treating the metal. They're annealing it or heat treating it or hardening it or putting it through many processes to make the metal strong. That's not the case with an $83 claw hammer. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. $83. Bits, I don't know if, I've never really used SK bits. If they're, I'm sure they're high-end, high quality, I guarantee it. And there's a lot of times with bits, you need a really strong one. You don't want to play around with bits. You know, if you're working on your computer or something like your vacuum cleaner, then you could get away with cheap bits. Once you get in your industrial setting or automotive, you're going to need really high-end bits, or else you'll just snap the stupid things right off. I'm trying to see if they got others like sets, chrome bit sets. Sorry, I'm going so fast, guys. Not that anybody really wants to see these. Nah, I don't know. I'm gonna wrap it up. These prices are giving me a stomach ache. I don't want to start my day on a sad note, knowing I can't afford this. These are the ones I was looking for. I think no. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah, SK tools are no joke, huh? You can buy that $83 hammer and take it to your piggy bank and smash it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.